Well, good evening to you all, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in to Cheney Stadium here in Tacoma, Washington on a Thursday evening, a beautiful Thursday evening, I might mention, here on ESPN Plus for some USL Championship action. I'm Andrew Harvey alongside Dave Clark, and you are tuning in live to the match between Tacoma Defiance and Las Vegas Lights FC. We're being informed that we're expecting a bit of a delay to kick off tonight. About 10 minutes is what we're being told, as additional time is needed for preparations. But, Dave, that just gives us lots of time to talk about all the intrigue coming into this match. And this is a visiting Las Vegas Lights side that is hoping to upend a recent poor run of form.
Yeah, they are currently struggling. They went 5 winless, 4 of those are losses. So it's a Vegas Lights that's up here in the nice 75-degree weather, looking to rebound, and they've got some fresh faces that'll have to carry them towards that attempted victory.
Yeah, one of those faces that is not so fresh in terms of being a player who hasn't seen the pitch too much is Roberto Molina, and they're hoping the big man up top can really get something done for them.
Yeah, without the loan downs that Las Vegas Lights are typical, Roberto Molina is going to have to be their offense. 3 goals, 2 assists on the year. He has been effective for them and can change games when he's scoring.
Well, Lights have struggled on the road this season, a 2-8 record away from Cashman Field. But for Tacoma, they recently had an 8-match unbeaten run brought to an end against Oakland Roots as part of that 3-match road trip, a 3-1 loss down there in the Bay Area. And Wade Weber, Tacoma Defiance head coach, is really hoping that they can keep things tight at the back tonight.
Yeah, Wade's really proud of the defense this year. That's what has carried Tacoma up to 4th place here in the Pacific Division standings. And that defense tonight's going to be led by tonight's captain, Tom Brewitt, the former Liverpool Academy. He'll be wearing that armband. News from Tom Brewitt is that he is working towards his U.S. citizenship. He's got an Italian-American mom based out of New York City and absolutely loves it here in the Pacific Northwest, has adopted a dog. So that armband, that leadership that the 24-year-old can provide, and that passion for a team that has helped him reboot his career.
And Defiance has really loved him right back. He's just come in and completely clicked right away with Tacoma Defiance as he's joined the squad this season. Once again, about a 10-minute delay, we're being told, from the stated kickoff time to when the ball will actually be kicked this evening. We'll keep you updated if we have any updates on that. But let's take a look at the Multicare pre-match health report. And Dave, you have become accustomed to seeing good news for Tacoma. Not too many injuries for them this season, and you have to wonder if that might be part of this great run they're on this year.
Yeah, that's definitely been part of the run. There are healthy scratches that Wade Weber's been able to make today. There are 5 players on their signed roster who aren't even in the matchday 18 today because everybody's healthy. It's been, as much as so many teams with these compressed schedules have struggled with injury, Tacoma Defiance has been quite strong in their health.
Yeah, you know what they always say, Dave, the best ability is availability. Speaking of availability, the cupboard looking a little bit bare for the visitors. Let's take a look at Steve Cherundolo's starting 11 for Las Vegas Lights FC. Some familiar faces for what we're accustomed to seeing out of this Lights side, but Dave, 5 players in this starting 11 have made 5 or fewer starts this season.
In some ways that can be good for a squad because when you're struggling, to just get those fresh faces, they're not used to the results and the losses. So these fresh faces can come in and just be who they are and be themselves, not have that burden of expectations on them. One of the players I'm going to pay a lot of attention to is Mohamed Traore. He's a loan down from LAFC. We've seen him up here before. Lots of speed out there, out wide. A great center back who can play fullback as well. I've been intrigued with his performances in the past.
1 goal, 2 assists on the year for the man from Senegal. Be sure to keep an eye on Christopher Jaime and Armando Avila again. 2 LAFC players on academy contracts on loan to Las Vegas Lights, both 17 years of age, and starting against some counterparts tonight who are of similar age but have made many more appearances at this point in the season.
Yeah, if you go to the Tacoma Defiance lineup, you'll see some familiar faces here in Tacoma. Former captain Josh Atencio is starting in the midfield. After some strong performances in MLS, the captain returns to Cheney Stadium where he earned that deal. And as well, then you see Jackson Reagan, slightly older, the Tower of Power there, who has scored on the road for Defiance. Coach Wade Weber cannot praise Reagan enough. He's listed at 6'5", but that might be underselling the center back.
It's 6'5" without the boots on, Dave.
We're not used to seeing that often. It's sometimes you get people that list like you had the NBA players that some of the 7-footers. Kevin Garnett always had himself listed at 6'11", so he wasn't forced to play center. In this case, Jackson Reagan just kept growing and is now a giant out there. Subtle feet, great first touch, keeps his head up to look for passes. A dominant player defensively on a team that isn't giving up goals.
Dave, I want to bring up the Pacific Division standings now here in the USL Championship. And before the season, you and I kind of predicted that this division was going to cannibalize itself somewhat. And I feel like that's proven itself to be true. I mean, Las Vegas, even with this recent downturn of form, 10 points back with 12 games left to go. That's not an insurmountable deficit by any stretch of the imagination. It is tight here in this Pacific Division.
Yeah, the Pacific Division from 2 to 8 is competitive. You know, we just saw Oakland Roots go on this huge run, pulling themselves out from 8 to 7. The only reason Las Vegas Lights are in 8 right now is because of their reverse run, essentially. And then Tacoma has battled with San Diego, Orange County, Sacramento, and Los Dos for 2 through 6 throughout the season. Those places have shuffled every single week. Key matches throughout the year that have determined that. Tacoma owns those tiebreakers on San Diego and Orange County. If they win tonight, would jump back up to second, where they spent half a week about a week ago.
Well, we are counting you down to kickoff here at Cheney Stadium between Tacoma Defiance and Las Vegas Lights FC. Once again, a expected 10-minute delay to the stated kickoff time of 7 p.m. We'll take a break here on ESPN+, and we'll be back after these messages.
Here are AARP top tips on caregiver preparedness during coronavirus. Form a team that can help with caregiving tasks. Take an inventory of essential supplies in your loved one's home. Make a list of the care recipient's medications. Schedule regular calls to fight isolation. Finally, take care of yourself too. Follow the Centers for Disease Control's guidelines for coronavirus safety. For more caregiving tips, go to aarp.org/caregiving.
Our fight against coronavirus isn't over. We still have to slow the spread and do our part. Let's wear face masks in public. Stay 6 feet or more from others. Follow state and local guidelines. Wash our hands frequently and stay home when we feel safe. For ourselves, for our loved ones, for our future. Let's move forward together. Learn more at coronavirus.gov.
Sigue la lucha. Aún no acaba esta batalla. A estas alturas ya estamos cansados, pidiendo esquina. Pero no es momento de bajar la guardia, porque este enemigo, cuando parece que ya está en la lona, se levanta de nuevo y te ataca por donde menos lo esperas. Así que arriba la guardia, porque si pierdes la máscara, todos perdemos la lucha.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool.
To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Dad?
Just 1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
If I could be you, You could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. If you could see you through my eyes instead of your ego, I believe you'd be surprised to see that you've been blind. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Yeah, before you abuse, criticize and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Can I get the now bar, please?
$1.
Have a good one.
Got it.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey.
Let me get a now bar.
Sure.
$1.
Appreciate you.
Got it.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
Welcome back into Cheney Stadium here in Tacoma, Washington. Andrew Harvey alongside Dave Clark for you here on ESPN Plus as we're getting set for Tacoma Defiance versus Las Vegas Lights FC in the USL Championship here on a just resplendent Thursday night. And Dave, we can now share, we're being told that kickoff will happen 7 minutes from now at 7:21 Pacific time. This Tacoma side is back at home after a 3-match road stand where they took 6 points, they scored 6 goals, and they had 6 goal scorers, Dave.
Yeah, that's really the issue that'll determine how far Tacoma Defiance can make it this season. Who can score those goals for them? As Sam Adeniran steps up, becomes that center forward who is a constant threat to score. Tacoma can go a long way, hosting a playoff game, maybe even winning a playoff game. If they have the inconsistent and have to scrape together headed goals, Jackson Reagan had a goal, Tom Brewitt had a goal on that road trip. If they're counting on that, they might just be stymied.
So the first 2 wins strong against San Diego Loyal, against Orange County, a win that we now know cost Orange County head coach Braden Cloutier his job as he was relieved of duties shortly after that 3-0 loss to Tacoma. And then they go down to Oakland and they lose 3-1. Now, you and I both know that Oakland side was kind of in a false position all year. They were really kind of playing beneath their talent level, and they seem to have figured that out with this recent run. But what else went into that match to disrupt that 8-match unbeaten streak Tacoma was on?
I think what you saw was a lack of creativity from the midfield band, whether it's the wingbacks or the center mids. They were just unable to connect up front. That box 4 can get kind of trapped in. Wade Weber uses, rather than 2 wide forwards on the 3-4-3, those wide players actually play underneath with 4 central midfielders. And you're supposed to have the numbers and be able to pass effectively when you have those numbers. They just weren't seeing the lanes and weren't able to create effective danger against Oakland.
It's the same formation for Wade Weber, but a bevy of changes from that loss against Oakland. As you're taking a look at who's in tonight and who's out, what has to change for Tacoma to avoid those problems?
I think really what that's going to rest on is Juan Alvarez and Reed Baker Whiting, who are 2 of the youngest players on the squad for Tacoma tonight. Those gentlemen have to be effective in creating danger against the Las Vegas Lights and Alex Rando. If they can do that, magical things can happen. Sometimes you just need to shoot and understand that you'll have other guys around to pick up those rebounds. We've seen that before with Tacoma, players pouncing on those loose balls. That's where how in the past Alec Diaz has been effective. Just shoot a little bit more. Juan, Sam, Reed, just take some shots once in a while. Don't look for the perfect one. Shoot.
Certainly we know that when Defiance has been inclined to pull the trigger, they have been able to make good things happen in the past over the years here at Cheney Stadium in particular. And really an impressive run for them. 5-0-3 this year at home. I know they want to continue that unbeaten streak. It's one of the things that Wade Weber really hangs his hat on, is the road woes may be the road woes, but this team excellent at Cheney Stadium.
Yes, that maturity, and a lot of that just comes from, these are players that have grounded out and have struggled, but they knew from their academy days and they knew from looking up to the first team that they were winners, and that's something that somehow clicked this season, that it was going to be different. They weren't going to accept losing. They've worked together as teammates so much more effectively this season than we've seen in the past.
It is anthem time here at Cheney Stadium. We pause for the playing of the Star-Spangled Banner. When we return, kickoff between Tacoma Defiance and Las Vegas Lights FC here on ESPN+. Back in live here at Cheney Stadium in Tacoma, Washington. It is time for kickoff between Tacoma Defiance and Las Vegas Lights FC here on a Thursday evening on ESPN+. I'm Andrew Harvey. He's Dave Clark. Dave, Las Vegas comes into tonight 5-13-2, 17 points. Like we pointed out earlier, 8th place in the Pacific Division, but that 17 is not very far back in the pack, all things considered.
And they're a Lights team that knows they can take on Tacoma. They have 2 victories over Tacoma. They're at Castleman Field. And they know what they need to do to stifle this attack. It's something they've done before. It's something that Steve Tarantula will try to do again.
Tacoma, meanwhile, 7 wins, 5 losses, 6 draws, 27 points overall. Good for 4th in the Pacific Division right now. But they definitely want to do some more to secure that playoff position as we wind down these final 14 games or so of the regular season.
Yeah, talking to Coach Wade Weber, he knows that there's an opportunity not just to make the playoffs, but to host a playoff game. And that's determined by games like tonight, where with a victory, they hold second and they have games in hand against those teams competing with them for a playoff spot.
Your referee tonight is Lorenzo Hernandez. Assistant referees Hunter Zakwieha and Andrew Marihart. Adaraman Roy is the 4th official. The teams have broken their huddles and we're set to go. Las Vegas in white with blue shorts will move from left to right on your screen here in the first half. Tacoma Defiance in commencement gray going back the other way.
And as usual, those Las Vegas uniforms look crisp and clear and practically glow.
Yeah, since they've come into the league, Vegas has really hung their hat on having evocative kits. You always know where they are, Dave. There's no denying that. It's young Juan Alvarez over the opening kickoff in the center circle. There's the whistle. And we are underway, 90 minutes between Las Vegas and Tacoma here at Cheney Stadium. Thanks for sticking with us after a bit of a delay to tonight's kickoff. Great to have you here. Quick move up the far side, draws a free kick. That was from Reed Baker Whiting. Dave, from a player's perspective, it might not seem like very much, but 20 minutes, a long time in the disruption of an athlete's rhythm as you get set to start a match. How might that affect these opening 5 or 10 minutes?
I think it might take a little bit longer to figure out just that they're playing soccer again. And waiting after warm-ups, the touch will take a moment. Both teams will be a little bit disconnected.
Eric Goloski, the brother of Brian, set for this throw-in from the near side. You and I had a real Spaceballs moment as we were going over the team sheet tonight. How many Goloskis we got in this division, Dave? Through ball there, looking for a dinner on. No good. Courtesy of Cece Uche, who's wearing the captain's armband tonight.
That's just one of the curses of division play, is that you see the same teams frequently. So 2 Goloskis can feel like 4.
You know, obviously, I know there's a lot of teams that might be missing some of their traditional games against your Oklahoma Cities and other clubs you've come to know and perhaps not be on too friendly terms with. But you got to say, it's probably great for the development of regional rivalries. Villanueva left that fat, cleaned up by Josh Atencio. Player signed to a contract with Seattle Sounders of Major League Soccer. Down tonight on a short-term loan. Kinsner, Tacoma native. Top line for Villanueva. Put away by Molina. Demora. Avila. And Alvarez has it back. Villanueva, hot on Uche's heels, concedes the throw-in. Dave, if you're a fan of complex build-up play, tonight might be a bit of a dream matchup for you. Both these teams really looking to combine in the early stages.
Yeah, you saw it there. Las Vegas had the turnover deep in their attacking third where they captured the ball, but they swung it, waited for players to get into the area rather than force the situation with just two attacking players available at that turnover's moment.
Inside for Avila. Again, 17 years old. Making his fourth start of the season tonight. Alvarez left that high. Trying to fight off El Nesmari. Settled to Roma. Well turned by Christopher Jaime. Anguiano. Bit of a delay, but the whistle does come from Lorenzo Hernandez.
Carlos does a strong job of getting his body in between the ball and his opponent, forcing them to foul or just let him maintain possession.
Heavy touch from Atencio. Another turnover.
The type of fan that likes to watch for tactical positioning, there's two different approaches to the three-forward set tonight. Vegas plays very high, very wide. And again, as we said pregame, Tacoma, their wide forwards will play underneath Sam Adeniran.
Dave, is that a factor, the fact they want to leave space for players like Double Air and Villanueva to run forward?
Oh, yes. The wingbacks are going to play incredibly high, rarely in defense. And part of it is just to flood that midfield to maintain possession.
Long ball over the top. And Alex Rando out to catch it. Formation for Wade Weber tonight listed as a 3-4-3, but it can start looking like a 3-2-5 pretty quickly. This might be one of those moments. Double Air. Up the line, the return from Alvarez is too hot for him. Defiance win a throw-in on the far touchline.
Strong choice by Lights there to just clear it out. They didn't have the numbers, weren't able to shield effectively. So just get your own players back.
Adeniran and Double Air not on the same page.
Stay there! Left shoulder. Jackson, left shoulder. Back one. Jackson, cover me. Jackson, cover me. Tempo, let's go. Our tempo, our game, let's go. Miss me.
Defiance attempt to recycle back to Jackson Reagan with the restart. Long ball over the top, gone all the way out for a goal kick. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. Can't close your eyes on Sam Adeniran. He'll close you down a lot quicker than you might expect for a man of his size.
Las Vegas will be happy that's just a goal kick rather than a goal. They've seen it happen here. Everybody's got tape on Sam Adeniran with that block for a goal now.
That goal against Oakland, one of the most baffling things I think I've ever seen in 10 years of broadcasting soccer. Ball back to Spencer Ritchie, who's starting a goal tonight. Pardon me, Dave.
Tacoma's so confident in possession that they're willing to knock it back to maintain that possession. It's not something that they've been successful with in years past.
Double Air cutting inside. Back for Atencio. Wide for Villanueva. Villanueva with some space here. He uncorks one, and that one was never on target. You saw Alex Rando relax as he saw it come off of Villanueva's foot.
Well, if I'm going to be consistent, I ask for more shots.
It's true. And it's not a bad decision from Villanueva. You could see he had the space there. Tackle away from Jaime. Anguiano. Through a couple of challenges goes Anguiano. Dave, I dare say, almost seems like Tacoma has a size advantage, man for man, against Las Vegas tonight. I think that might be the first time ever that you and I have called a game together where that's the case.
Yeah, outside of Juan and Carlos, they match up quite well with lights.
Atencio certainly adds some oomph to that midfield.
Baker Whiting might have put 2 inches on during this season as well.
Boy, his physical development has just been insane. Feels like 10 months ago, he was smaller than Double Air.
Lights forcing Adeniran to carry the ball backwards. They'll be very happy with that.
Ball over hit there. Looking for Baker Whiting on the near side. Dave, I know it's very early goings just yet, 12th minute in fact, but when you think about this level of press out of Las Vegas and the fact that they are carrying a short bench this evening, to a certain extent. Do you think eventually there might be something in the plan where that pressure is designed to slacken off a little bit, or are they going to keep gunning for it?
Yeah, I don't think you're going to be able to maintain that intensity of pressure to keep chasing the Defiance team that has numbers in that back line and has been so strong in possession. That's a lot of running to do. Particularly when you look at their bench as well. It's 2 defenders and 2 midfielders. You're forced to change shape when you bring those on for tired forwards.
Double air. See him trying to lay that to the inside for Juan Alvarez. Well defended. Here's Traore. And Traore he got his man on the far touchline. Villanueva pressing on. Leaves that for Baker Whiting. Far side for Double Air. Alvarez turns away from pressure there, but can't get back to the ball. It's Traore. Turned over for Double Air. In for Adeniran. Traore stayed down away from the play. Atencio's shot's blocked. Villanueva holds that ball in. Traore still down. And now the referee doing the smart thing, waiting for a logical stoppage in play to come check in on Mohamed Traore. He was quickly back to his feet after the whistle goes. Lorenzo Hernandez over to check on the man from Senegal. Reed Baker Whiting there, just getting some instructions from Wade Weber. Play a restart with the drop ball. It should just be a drop ball to Tacoma. The era of the contested drop ball is over. Another change to the laws made the last couple years to kind of remove the perfunctory ceremony of knocking it back to the team that had possession. Long ball looking for Baker Whiting. Uche just shepherds that out.
Baker Whiting misjudged that hop. He was in the right position up until he wasn't.
Well, 2 of the East's best clash to kick off a fall to remember when the USL on ESPN continues. Perennial contenders Louisville City FC travel to Dillon Stadium to meet Hartford Athletic in a potential playoff preview Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Hartford, for my money, Dave, one of the real joys of this USL Championship season. Their struggles in their first year, well cataloged. This year have been a force to be reckoned with.
In the East, they're obviously the most improved team out there. Cheney Stadium hosting the West likely most improved team, although Colorado Springs might argue with that.
El Mesmari gone ahead for Vasquez. His cross is blocked by Reagan. That's out for a corner. First of the night for the visitors. Short on the restart. Quick cross. Ritchie comes for it and catches it cleanly.
Smart decision to go short, wide jump it in against 4 6-footers between the three center backs and Josh Atencio. Tacoma just has the height advantage there, so you have to find other ways to go around them.
Swarmed at the near side. And winning a free kick is Alex Villanueva. Quickly restarted. Reagan taking space. Double air. Thought he had a man inside. Adeniran retreats to it. Wanted Villanueva to the near touchline. Vegas breaks the first line of pressure. Now wants to play possession. Villanueva caught out there against Eric Koloski. Free kick for Vegas. Now it's Defiance's turn to press. El Mesmari fighting off Anguiano. Not much in the foul, but it was a bit of a grab for Anguiano. Free kick. Villanueva. Adeniran takes over. Further still for Double Air. Who wants the cross? Gets it away. It's blocked before it can go out of play. DeRoma gives chase. And Traore does well to clear it off his own line.
Excellent basket trap by Jackson Reagan there. Under pressure, just calmly pops the ball away.
Good vision, too, to know that only his teammate was in the area. A lot of touches from Villanueva. He goes down. I think might have been looking for a call, but Defiance retains the ball.
There aren't many positive situations where you want your wing back in the center circle.
Certainly not if he's coming backwards to be there. This is Villanueva once more. Baker Whiting. Atencio. Double Air calls for it on the far side. Scooped his way. Alvarez. The through ball is batted away by Traore. 20 minutes gone, Dave, and apart from that corner, you have to say it's mostly been Tacoma on the front foot.
Yeah, Las Vegas had those two moments. One, they earned a corner. The other, they earned a turnover.
Villanueva, space for a cross here. Double Air, collects it at the far side. Drops to Atencio. Tackled away by DeRoma.
There's something that Toronto will be happy with right now. It's their wing defense. They've been able to shut down Villanueva and Double Air fairly well, forcing Tacoma to cycle it backwards.
All the way back to Rando. Uche testing the line under pressure. Molina underneath it. Vasquez. Jaime. Baker Whiting tackles it away from Iloski. Villanueva. Still Villanueva. He fires, and that one forces a stop out of Alex Rondo. Keeper was thankful, I think, to see that ball come right at him, but what a dribble from Alex Villanueva to play himself forward. And here's another look, Dave.
Yeah, you'll see there's some confidence here for Alex Villanueva, who doesn't mind any pressure, will just keep dribbling, and eventually pulls off the shot. His second of the game. We've got an attacking wingback today who's determined to score. Double air with acres of space that he can run to.
No shortage of patience out of Tacoma Defiance. You mentioned that earlier, Dave, but maybe a little bit lackadaisical with the ball on some of these passes.
It's one of those cases where, unfortunately, 90% possession or 90% pass completion isn't creating opportunities for Tacoma. Their chances are coming off of double air and Villanueva dribbling into traffic.
Yoloski in for DeRoma on the near side. Stays in play for DeRoma. His cross is searching. Double air will dribble free. And heave this down the line, looking for a dinner run. Well played by Traore. Avila sends it right back. Anguiano under some pressure. It's back with Kinsner. Baker Whiting, Uche on his back. Yoloski tries the line, it stays in. Jaime. Traore. And the flag up for offside against Bruce El Mesmari. Mexican Youth International. Has represented his country at the U17 World Cup back in 2019.
Ethan Double Air was at that World Cup. One of Tacoma's bench players, Danny Leyva, also at that World Cup.
I'm trying to remember, Dave, although he's out on loan, was Alfonso Ocampo Chavez at that contest as well for the U.S.?
Absolutely.
Currently out on loan with Pinchgau Saalfeld in the Austrian lower divisions.
And Josh Atencio was on the eligible list, but was not selected on that final roster.
Some really good fun to be had looking back at some of those tournament rosters from yesteryear. Double air hard in for that ball, but it had already gone out of play. Back look at previous editions, and you can spot some awfully big names on some of those team sheets.
I think one of them sitting on the bench for Las Vegas Lights right now. I think he had a couple Youth World Cups.
Avila wants the line, Here's Molina. And the ball had already gone out of play. The hoodie season is back. Get the latest zip-ups and pullovers for fall at the Tacoma Team Store Monday through Friday, noon to 5. And also online at Tacoma.com/team store. Or visit the Cheney Stadium Team Store on match days. Heavy touch there from Villanueva. It's a turnover.
Pace of play seems to have settled down a little bit.
Certainly Vegas is enjoying much more possession than they had in the early spells. Molina's cross had already gone over the line for a goal kick. Anything about Spencer Ritchie, kind of a veteran presence for this squad. Just his third appearance of the year down here, but he's played in an awful lot of venues. Now has to try to slot in here at home. Dangerous cross, save from Ritchie. Villanueva has that rattle around, and he's content to knock it into touch on the near side. Lights trying to press the advantage. Kinsner doing enough to prevent the corner. Thrown to El Mesmari. Jaime. Molina. One more for DeRoma. The flick on Vasquez, and Vasquez can't put it on frame. It's cleared away. Another effort over the top. Reagan was hoping that Ritchie was there. He'll settle for another Vegas throw-in. Avila in for Vasquez. His low cross, batted down by Brewitt, knocked clear by Reagan. Only as far as Iloski. Baker Whiting. First he smelled of the ball in about 10 minutes. Double air dispossessed. Vegas has all the momentum right now. Brando forced to play this with his feet. Slides to get rid of it. Well held in by Iloski, even though he can't keep it all the way in.
It's one of those cases where anything you can do to give your keeper enough time to stand back up.
Some plays are made, Dave, with the next 50 seconds in mind, some with the next 5. That was the latter. Kinsner fakes the ball downfield. Baker Whiting, pressure on his back, draws the free kick. Atencio, big switch toward Double Air, who brings it down beautifully. Double Air settles for the corner. Anguiano gone short for Juan Alvarez. His cross to the back post is headed away. That was Molina, the first one to it. Ritchie wants to try Villanueva in space, and the fullback can't bring it down. 33rd minute, 0-0 between Tacoma Defiance and Las Vegas Lights. Baker Whiting heads it forward. Sepulveda. Iloski. Kinsner hard in. Alvarez. Bit of space for Double Air.
Tom Brewitt not seeing the runs that he wants, asking.
Now it's a turnover with some space to work. Reagan gets the inside line against Jaime.
I said asking, but he might be commanding his teammates to look for those runs.
Yeah, I didn't hear too much of a question mark on the end of that last exclamation from Brewitt. Baker Whiting retreats to the ball. Double Air. Alvarez moving inside. Ball comes to him. The return for Double Air. He gets there. I think was trying to play it short for winning a corner and did so. Tacoma went short on the first one. We'll see if they continue with that here. Anguiano sends it in. Out as far as Adeniran. Wanted it on his left foot there. Headed forward by Double Air. Reagan is there. Cut back. Atencio floated back post. Adeniran gets a header to it. It falls in. It's finished off. Tom Brewitt, the man with the captain's armband, has put Tacoma on top in the early seconds of the 32nd minute, part of the 36th. What a finish on an unconventional batted ball. 1-0 Tacoma.
You'll see here that Defiance just keep persisting, slinging the ball forward. A little cross here from Atencio that somehow Sam Adeniran's back shoulder directs towards Tom Brewitt, who slots it home with his foot rather than his head this week.
Dave, we know so well it's not always about that first service on a set piece. The second ball can be just as deadly. And that is where Tacoma have found themselves lethal here in the 36th minute. They lead 1-0. Congratulations to Tom Brewitt. That's his first goal on American soil.
He's on a scoring streak now. He headed in a goal just over the weekend, the only score in the 3-1 loss to Oakland. But yes, the center back is all of a sudden a scoring threat.
Defiance have a couple of those on board, don't they? Baker Whiting is offside there. Well, that's a huge momentum shifter for Tacoma. Their heels had been kind of shifting backward the last 10 minutes or so. And then sort of against the recent run of play, they bagged that goal from Tom Brewitt.
At the time, I was sensing that Las Vegas was going to try to steal a point here on the road with a goal.
Well, still not out of the woods for that yet. But now for Vegas, there is more to do, to be certain. And Defiance, if they've proven anything this year, Dave, they're a team that gets more dangerous as soon as they find that opening goal.
They're pressing more effectively now.
Baker Whiting whistled for that late challenge against CC Uche. Who gives himself a hand back to his feet.
Well, he rejected Reeds earlier, so if you're going to tell the person who took you out not to help you up, you got to get up yourself.
Villanueva. Pressure from Molina. Kinsner. Anguiano.
It's Kinsner's second dribble that's just embarrassed a Vegas player.
Anguiano, long ball. Villanueva's onside. In for a dinner on. Unable to find space to pull the trigger. Baker Whiting onside there. Heavy touch, space for the cross. Falls to Double-Air. Squared inside, Alvarez can't get a foot to it. Great tackle by Mohamed Traore. Alvarez back on the ball now, trying to force the issue. Flag up for offside against El Mesmari. Now, Tacoma sets sail on a high seas happy hour every weekend home match. 90 minutes before every weekend match, Cheney Stadium opens for the high seas happy hour, presented by Lunazul Tequila. Next high seas happy hour is September 5th, this Sunday, when Phoenix Rising comes to Tacoma. Visit tacdefiance.com/ticket information. Certainly Tacoma will not be looking past the next 50 minutes against Las Vegas, but as broadcasters, we can spare 30 seconds to do so. And that Phoenix contest will be real interesting for Tacoma, regardless of tonight's result. League leaders, 12 wins to their name.
They're so far ahead of the pack that their slump kept them in first.
Good problem to have, I suppose.
Turnover.
Ball left in space there. That's a bad giveaway. Brewitt gets a foot back to it. Initial tackle in from Jackson Reagan to prevent what was a very dangerous opportunity. And just like this, it's breaking the other way. It's Anguiano, wide for a dinner on. He pulls it back. Baker Whiting leaves it for Atencio. Break is off now. Back wide, Double-Air, straight toward goal. Bit of a shoulder in on that cross. Nothing doing, goal kick. The USL is committed to supporting the LGBTQ+ community through the Forever Proud project. The USL will strive to create safe and welcoming environments for all fans, players, employees, and partners. Learn more at uslsoccer.com/forever-proud.
Lights did an excellent job getting those bodies back in time to turn what should have been a fast break for Defiance just into standard play.
The Dinarons failed to hold that ball in play. Home fans might not like it, but the assistant referee, Andrew Merihart, is right on top of the ball there on the far touchline, Dave. Reagan intercepts that clearance. Still Jackson Reagan. Villanueva, big ball. Adeniran might have been offside there, even if that had come his way.
Those Tacoma center backs love to get forward. They will break lines on the dribble. We've seen it from Taylor Mueller, Tom Brewitt, and Eric Kinsner. Now Jackson Reagan recently added to the squad to do it too.
We know Wade Weber, a former Major League Soccer center back himself, has a lot of faith in the men he chooses to play on that back line. And maybe, just maybe, a little tacit encouragement. Great nutmeg there. Traore forced to scramble after he slipped a little bit.
I don't think he would have carried it forward like that.
Oh, in his day, absolutely not. But with the benefit of hindsight, I think maybe Wade's given him a little bit of a green light. As long as nothing bad happens, right, Dave? Free kick for Vegas.
It's also one of the advantages of the three-man back line is that when one goes forward, there are still two more back there to clean up his mess if he makes one.
'45th minute now. Vegas trying to work this set piece. See if they can notch an equalizer before the break. Long curling ball, helped on its way by Baker Whiting. As far as Iloski. And Adeniran pumps it back out. Retreating Alvarez and right back by Traore. Molina. To Roma. Uche. 1 minute of added time is what we'll play here in the first half. Molina tried to go through there. Elmas Mari was giving chase.
Brilliant little pass that threaded through so many Defiance feet.
Molina is fouled there. So this free kick will likely wind up as the last opportunity of the half. Or pardon me, have they given it for offside? Yes, it's a free kick for Tacoma. That's unlucky when you're the player who's offside. Play is dead before you have a chance to get clobbered. Otherwise, that would have been a really promising free kick.
Tacoma might get a single touch after Richie.
Well, Lorenzo Hernandez did just give the watch a glance.
Or not even a touch.
Well, Tom Brewitt has put the home side on top. 1-0, finishing off an awkward ball in the 36th minute to get his second goal of the season and his second goal in as many matches. And Defiance lead 1-0 over Vegas at the break, Dave.
It's been a strong performance on possession for Tacoma. Las Vegas did create a couple of opportunities. They know what they need to do. They need to move in transition faster if they want to close this gap on Tacoma tonight.
Defiance lead through 45 minutes. We'll take a break here on ESPN+.
Our fight against coronavirus isn't over. We still have to slow the spread and do our part. Let's wear face masks in public. Stay 6 feet or more from others. Follow state and local guidelines. Wash our hands frequently. And Stay home when we feel safe. For ourselves, for our loved ones, for our future. Let's move forward together. Learn more at coronavirus.gov.
Sigue la lucha. Aún no acaba esta batalla. A estas alturas ya estamos cansados, pidiendo esquina. Pero no es momento de bajar la guardia, porque este enemigo, cuando parece que ya está en la lona, se levanta de nuevo y te ataca por donde menos lo esperas. Así que arriba la guardia, porque si pierdes la máscara, todos perdemos la lucha.
Hey, let's check out this park.
Oh, wow, that's really cool. To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Dad,
Just 1 minute, okay?
hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. If you could see you through my eyes instead of your ego, I believe you'd be surprised to see that you've been blind. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Yeah, before you abuse, criticize and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
I am a first-generation student here at Bellevue University. I feel like if I were to have gone to a different university, my experience would have been a lot more stressful and overwhelming, because I feel like I wouldn't have gotten that personal experience that Bellevue University has to offer.
City double their money. And how sweet the sound in Lynn Family Stadium.
I did get an interesting text from someone in the Phoenix organization talking about how big and physical that game was, and maybe they didn't necessarily know it was going to be just like that. I think they got a good taste. By the way, in case you're wondering, Forrest Lasso is competing for the Summer Olympics in gymnastics. Just wanted you to know. What you
So
got
is
next?
Lee Cohen. He was part of that routine.
Bring it to me.
Forrest Lasso, the defender of the year, leaping over the ad boards and pirouetting his way toward the dugout.
Welcome back into Cheney Stadium. It is halftime here in Tacoma, Washington, between Tacoma Defiance and Las Vegas Lights FC. Defiance leading 1-0 through 45 minutes here on ESPN+. I'm Andrew Harvey alongside Dave Clark. Dave, lots of exciting action to talk about in this match, but first, we turn our attention to what's going on around the rest of the USL Championship.
Yeah, we're the only match this evening, but Wednesday night was busy. If you look at Hartford, we talked about them in the first half. They keep charging forth. A big result for OKC Energy on the road, keeping them in the playoff hunt. San Antonio Downing Monarchs, and the perfect result for both Las Vegas Lights and Tacoma Defiance fans, a draw between two Pacific Division opponents.
Speaking of the Pacific Division, let's take a look at the schedule to come for this upcoming weekend. And lots of action to be had.
Yeah, both Tacoma and Vegas are at home on Sunday. We also look at San Diego Loyal against Los Dos. And I'm looking forward to Friday night, the Battle of the Bays. Oakland, who's on that hot streak after beating Defiance, all the way out to Tampa.
That is a long way to go for a road trip. We'll see if Oakland's up to the task. Here are your Pacific Division standings as they stood entering the day. And as they stand right now, Defiance could be doing themselves some good if this scoreline holds out.
Yeah, this scoreline holds. Defiance move all the way up to second and start planning a playoff appearance.
Well, now let's take a look at some of the major headlines around the USL Championship. And obviously the big one tonight, Dave, is the start of the international window. World Cup qualifiers in effect and some USL alumni present.
14 alumni of the USL Championship, League One and League Two are in World Cup qualifying right now, including 4 on Jamaica's side that are at the World Cup qualifying, as well as 2 players here with local ties.
The Reggae Boys getting some love from the USL. Meanwhile, in other news, New Mexico United announced the signing of University of New Mexico head coach Heather Dyke as a technical staff special director. And obviously you've seen the outpouring of support on social media. Dyke, just a beloved figure there in New Mexico, and seems like a natural fit.
Yeah, it's great when USL Championship and League One clubs can pull all that professionalism and amplify the voices of soccer within their communities, as New Mexico United is doing, having Heather Dyke join the team.
And finally, as we roll over into September, it's time to start thinking about who was the best player in the league for the month of August. Dave, for your money, who do you have?
I've got Haji Berry, hands down. The goal of game man, the Golden Boot leader, taking the switchbacks all the way up to the top of the standings. It's got to be Berry for me.
For me, I got to go over to Pittsburgh and the Riverhounds with Russell Cicerone. One, he's a guy that we kind of know locally, spent some time out here with Timbers too, but he also has 6 goals in 6 games. And how are you going to disrespect the guy who led the then Michigan Bucks to a then PDL title back in 2016? Come on, Russell. Well, that's what's going on around the rest of the USL Championship. Here at Cheney Stadium, Tacoma Defiance leads 1-0 over Las Vegas Lights FC. We'll take a break and return with our first half highlights and, of course, the second 45 in this one after this.
Our fight against coronavirus isn't over. We still have to slow the spread and do our part. Let's wear face masks in public. Stay 6 feet or more from others. Follow state and local guidelines. Wash our hands frequently and stay home when we feel safe. For ourselves, for our loved ones, for our future. Let's move forward together. Learn more at coronavirus.gov.
Sigue la lucha. Aún no acaba esta batalla. A estas alturas ya estamos cansados, pidiendo esquina. Pero no es momento de bajar la guardia, porque este enemigo, cuando parece que ya está en la lona, se levanta de nuevo y te ataca por donde menos lo esperas. Así que arriba la guardia, porque si pierdes la máscara, todos perdemos la lucha.
Hey, let's check out this park. That's really cool.
To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Dad,
Just 1 minute, okay?
hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. If you could see you through my eyes instead of your ego, I believe you'd be surprised to see that you've been blind. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Yeah, before you abuse, criticize and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Welcome back into Cheney Stadium here in Tacoma, Washington, where Tacoma Defiance leads Las Vegas Lights FC 1-0 here on ESPN Plus as we're set for the start of the second half. Defiance grabbed the lead in the 36th minute thanks to a goal from Tom Brewitt. And let's take another look at that goal now, Dave. It came on a second chance ball after a corner kick was initially cleared away from inside the penalty area.
Yeah, Ethan Doubelair knocks the ball wide, creates the opportunity here. Jackson Reagan running on, Atencio. It's interesting here because of the 5-6 footers, 4 of them get a touch on that ball.
And only one of them touches it with his head.
Yeah, Reagan and Brewitt both playing it with their feet. Brewitt with an excellent finish. Not one that you normally expect from a center back to get, but just alert, aware of where the ball was going to be. He had plenty of space. Slotted home nicely.
So Defiance leading 1-0 as you rejoin us here on ESPN Plus. Andrew Harvey alongside Dave Clark for you here in the second half. Dave, for Vegas, they had a chance to put Defiance under pressure a couple of times in that first half. A couple of close calls for Spencer Ritchie at the back. What has to happen for them to go out there and grab an equalizer before Defiance can go up by even more?
They have to transition more rapidly. That's where they created those opportunities. They were strong when they just cut through the middle third and created those attacks. So on the turnover, push forward, push forward. I mean, I may be getting my clues because we can hear Steven Cherundolo, the Las Vegas Lights coach, shout almost these exact commands. He is quite vocal from the sideline.
Well, also worth noting, there's been a change at halftime for Tacoma Defiance. Josh Atencio is off. Danny Leyva is on. Leyva also signed to a contract with Seattle Sounders in Major League Soccer. A player who, for whatever reason, might have struggled a little bit in terms of his time so far with Tacoma. Maybe a familiarity issue. He's so used to spending time with the MLS squad, the Sounders, that when he comes down here, he doesn't necessarily have a great familiarity with the guys he's playing with.
Yeah, Defiance will lose a little bit defensively, but Danny is a very creative attacking player. He once told me that his dream was to get 10 assists in a year while playing as a defensive mid.
There's a way to aim other than high. Danny Leyva doesn't know how to do it. Anguiano put a foot in there against Molina.
Also, we'll have to pay attention because we now have 2 long-sleeve players, both playing central mid.
Carlos Anguiano is probably tugging on that long sleeve saying, hey man, you're stealing my thing. Through ball here. Helmez Mari, cut back cross. That came off the head of Anguiano. And it's quickly collected by Richie.
Carlos with just a little wipe of the nose as he walks away.
The one thing Tacoma really can't afford is a goal within these first 5 minutes. We've seen that in some recent fixtures where they've held leads into halftime, but then have let their opponent get back into it shortly after the break.
They're generally a little less comfortable moving north, too. They're stronger attacking the south goal, so this will force them to adapt, be uncomfortable for a little bit. And you and I have seen keepers trying to clear the ball from that south goal just knock it a little weird once in a while.
Well, the sight lines are a little bit strange. In the north goal, you know, you've got a flat wall to your back, and that can kind of help orient you. Here, you've got the seating bowl that's a little bit kitty corner. Seems odd to say it, but something that small can interfere. I remember that first year that Tacoma was playing down here at Cheney Stadium. That really threw some people for a loop. Leyva takes over, hoofs it into space for Double-Air, and this is a lot of space for Ethan Double-Air. Look at him go, he's tripped up. No advantage develops, and no foul is called. Well, you've seen that given, you've seen it not given, Dave.
Yeah, I think Ethan will be a little bit frustrated because he ran a lot for that just to wind up as a Vegas throw-in.
His step counter game must be off the charts, though. That ball too far for Double-Air. Rando. Long beat Kinsner. Baker Whiting's underneath it. Adeniran was likely offside. One back, Baker Whiting. Trying to pull that back for Villanueva. And it appears to have come off Baker Whiting's arm in the process. Avila settles under that ball, headed away from El Mesmari by Reagan. Baker Whiting in late there and caught Molina. Free kick. Now you can see it as soon as Baker Whiting went to ground there. Knew his first touch was too heavy and isn't giving much in the way of an argument to the referee either. Molina runs through the bit of a jersey tug from Kinsner. Overhits that switch to the near side.
Eric got away with that one, probably because the body of his victim blocked the sight line of the referee.
Richie, there you go. You talk about some of that awkwardness playing out of the south goal. Tried to switch the field, overhit it. Yoloski looking to play himself through. And Kinsner drops it back down the line. Quickly in, over the head of El Mesmari.
For a team that dominated possession in the first half, Defiance just have faltered here early in the second. These first 5 minutes, they are not the same team.
Leyva looking over the top for Double-Air. Double-Air's first touch is so good. He can't bring it all the way under control there. But you have to say, Dave, if you hit a ball in his zip code, he's generally got a pretty good chance to play himself into something creative.
He does a great job of touching himself into space, just putting that ball so he will continue running onto it.
And he does not mind to run, we know that for sure. Quickly worked, batted away from Molina. Double air, making the smart move. Puts it into touch on the near side. Uche, Hiloski, El Mesmari. Carried on for Hiloski. His cross is blocked.
Tacoma's just unable to clear it effectively and turning this second half just into an onslaught right now that Las Vegas is controlling everything.
Testing the back line now. Kinsner heads it. Settled by Molina. El Mesmari. He fires for the far post and misses wide. For the W, starting next spring, the USLW League providing increased equity and opportunity for women looking to pursue careers in soccer both on and off the pitch. Comprised of clubs from across the Championship, League One, League Two, and new expansion markets, the W League is set to begin play in more than 30 communities across the United States. Head over to uslwleague.com to learn more. Wanted that ball at the middle. It's won by Anguiano. Leyva, the return for double air. Still double air here. He's run off the ball, he's gone down, and it's a foul going the other way. They're saying double air put too much into Avila there. Dave, your thoughts?
Such a strong run here, recovers the mistaken hit, and I have no idea how that was called against Ethan Double Air.
I mean, at best, you have a case for shoulder to shoulder from Avila, but it came pretty firmly into the back of the shoulder blade on double air there. Well, in any event, onward we go. 1-0 Tacoma here in the 54th minute.
And I think when Sam Adeniran sees that in the video room, he'll rethink. He kind of expected that to be a penalty, so he didn't play hard on that loose ball, which he could have. Effective route forward we've seen from Defiance so far has been Ethan Double Air just running.
Whiting got a foot to that. DeRoma retreats. Gone back to Rando. Forced to play it on the bounce, though, with pressure from Adeniran. Gone into touch. Someone was trying to be helpful, was a little too helpful. Ball nearly struck Villanueva there. All the way into the corner goes Villanueva. And it's a goal kick. Pardon me, a throw in for Tacoma. Misread the referee's hand signal. Quickly thrown in, Baker Whiting. First touch cross, and collected with a bucket grab by Rando.
Both teams have shifted from Las Vegas being dominant to frantic and disjointed.
Both these teams looking a little bit unsettled these last couple seconds. Here's Baker Whiting, Villanueva. Double air drifting to the far touchline. Ball comes his way, as does Avila. Cuts it inside, Alvarez. Still fighting as Alvarez. Gone out for a corner.
Wade Weber will be proud of the youngster there, managing to shield the ball out against the much larger opponent to earn that corner.
Anguiano, the in-swinger, floating header. Jackson Reagan got underneath it, couldn't put it on frame. Certainly a man of his stature. You fancy his chances on a ball in the air in the penalty area, Dave. Back to Rando. That's a lot of great jerseys around him. Uche goes down line and over the line in the process.
Lights have to close down Double Air faster if they don't want him to continue dominating play.
He's really been running the show for Defiance these last couple minutes. It's Double Air once more. Back to Rando. Rando tied up there. Reagan. Double Air. Leyva. 3 players with feet in the air, and in the end, it's a Las Vegas throw-in. Kinsner back to Ritchie. Gets it away under pressure. Alvarez is offside. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source of soccer radio, featuring Ray Hudson, Tony Miola, Rodney Marsh, and USL All Access, featuring Mike Watts and Devin Kerr, every Tuesday night at 7 Eastern. You can also hear live action from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app. A change now, the first of the night for Lights FC. On comes Tristan Weber. Placing Christopher Jaime. So Weber enters pretty much on the hour mark. Making just his second appearance of the season.
Dinarad surprised Villanueva by throwing the ball in.
Uche cleared as far as Anguiano. Brewitt squares that to Reagan. Double Air loses his footing. El Mesmari takes over. Vasquez. Upended there by Anguiano. Free kick.
That's basically the perfect angle for all those set play tacticians.
2 in the wall for Tacoma. It's not a particularly tall wall with Anguiano and Alvarez. A lot of jerseys lurking back post. CC Uche's in the mix, so's Traore. On the way from Molina, it's a high floating ball, headed away by Leyva, as far as Iloski. Iloski goes for goal, and that is a doozy of an equalizer here in the 62nd. Eric Iloski cuts to his left and puts it past a diving Spencer Ritchie. It's 1-1.
A strong clearance. Iloski is at a range where you don't necessarily have to close them down quickly if they have a normal shot. That is an abnormal shot. Just potent and powerful. Might be up for goal of the week, frankly.
Well, Iloski left nothing to chance. Ritchie maybe a little bit screened as that came through traffic, but it would have been a tall order to get to that ball no matter what happened or how well he saw it. And just like that, we're back on level footing, or if anything, the field tilted a little bit in favor of the visitors, having found the equalizer. Anguiano draws a free kick just shy of midfield.
Little gamesmanship from Lights there, knocking the ball away.
Big switch to Villanueva. He brings us under control. Villanueva on his right, fires to the near post. And Rando forced to scramble a little bit, but covers it. Testing the back line. Molina is offside.
Spencer's play there is the type that makes a keeper's coach happy. Don't worry about the whistle, just get the ball out of there.
Alvarez tripped up, free kick. Forced to rocket that ball to the near side. Came off a defender. Tacoma throw in and quickly take it. Vegas right back into that high press we saw them start the match in, Dave. Leyva loses his footing as he picks out Villanueva.
Vegas forcing Tacoma to retreat.
Very high line of confrontation for the visitors. Slipped toward Adeniran, turned over. El Mesmari. Upended there by Brewitt. It's a free kick. It'll be a yellow card for Tom Brewitt. So each team now is bagged a goal on a second chance off a set piece. Now another free kick for Las Vegas.
Wall is at 3.
El Mesmari over the ball. Looping in. Flag up for offside against Aroma. Cece Uche, man off. Tacoma sets sail on a high seas happy hour every weekend home match. 90 minutes before every weekend match, Cheney Stadium opens for the high seas happy hour presented by Luna Azul Tequila. Next high seas happy hour is this Sunday, September 5th, when Phoenix Rising comes to Tacoma. Visit TAC Defiance/ticket information. Double air. Come inside for Alvarez. Leyva. Anguiano. Baker Whiting. Tacoma just swarmed right now by this Vegas defense.
And that's twice where Reed Baker Whiting has left his teammate into a vulnerable position with a short back pass.
Well, not much pressure there from Jackson Reagan, but Vasquez down in the heap. Felt the contact and went down pretty quick. DeRoma, Sepulveda. Advantage played after a handball from Alvarez. Weber. El Mesmari. Straight into Jackson Reagan, who pummels that down the touchline. Adeniran hit from the back. Still settles the ball. Now switches for Villanueva. Villanueva on his left. Back for Kinsner. Leyva, pressure coming. Villanueva working against Iloski, the goal scorer. Anguiano. Baker Whiting, another heavy first touch from him. His first touch just has not been as cultured as we've come to expect tonight, Dave. Double air can't recover to that ball. 70th minute, 20 to go. Level 1-1 here at Cheney Stadium. Wade Weber patrolling the touch lines there and for all intents and purposes getting set to make a double change. Obed Vargas and Ray Serrano appear to be getting ready to check in. So Ethan Double-Air and Reed Baker Whiting's night are done here in the 71st minute. Or pardon me, they signaled for the substitution. They held off on it for right now. So their night is about to be done, Dave.
Well, maybe they'll do something with this next 30 seconds or so.
That's Double-Air laying that ball in for Sam Adeniran. And now the change will take place. Double-Air and Baker Whiting will go no further. They come off for Obed Vargas and Ray Serrano here in the 71st minute. Dave, Obed Vargas, a promising young prospect out of Alaska. Ray Serrano, no one has created more goals for Tacoma this season. He hasn't scored all of them, but 2 to his own name and 5 assists this year.
Yeah, and Ray's learning how to be a right wing back, kind of third on the depth chart for there, or up top as one of those underneath forwards. A flexible player that's offered Wade Weber a lot of options, and he will never stop running. Jackson Reagan with a foul that sent a little bit of a message, I think.
Looking into the middle. Alvarez, Anguiano, Obed Vargas. Villanueva tried for the quick cross, broken up by Yoloski. Gomez Mari off Tacoma. United Soccer League, all 31 championship clubs and its players stand together in support of diversity, inclusivity, equality, and compassion. For more information on the USL's commitment to change for the United Against Racism campaign, visit uslsoccer.com. Offside, rung up against Molina. Pardon me, Tristan Weber that time.
Defiance settling back into who they are. They just have 20 minutes to maintain at least this scoreline while they go for another.
Given away there. Vegas pressing forward. Slipped through. El Mesmari here. He cuts it back, and it rattles into the hands of Spencer Ritchie. He was looking to connect with Roberto Molina and hit it straight into Tom Brewitt. That'll be a moment that Vegas might wind up ruining depending on the outcome of this match. And for Tacoma, breathing a sigh of relief after a bad pass in the middle of the field, Dave.
Lights did not have the numbers on that, but some fortunate dribbling gave them the chance that should have turned this result.
Reagan. Villanueva, it's off his shoulder. He's tripped up by Yoloski. Rando slides in, and it bounces out of play for a throw-in.
Would you have called that contact that brought Villanueva down?
I think that's an awfully tough penalty to give there, particularly since Villanueva wasn't actually on the ball. This is Villanueva. Leyva. Dancing his way inside. Obed Vargas. Villanueva. Kinsner. Swung toward the back post. Falls to Serrano. Serrano on his left. Muscled off the ball, Anguiano, and Rando bats that down. Another big save for the visiting keeper. 15 minutes in stoppage time to go.
He wants to burn some time here, just give Lights the opportunity to relax a little bit. They've been under so much pressure lately that a quick restart would have been a failure on his part.
All the way across and goes out. Second change for Las Vegas. Michael Yeboah comes on, the man in on loan from Accra Great Olympics in his native Ghana. He He checks in for Julian Vasquez.
Who's walking quite slowly. A technique that doesn't usually work when the center referee is the one keeping the watch and has it right there next to you.
Kinsner. For Adeniran, that's a lovely first touch. Sliding challenge clears it away. Rando comes off his line. He'll scoop it up. Well, CC Uche might have just made the tackle of the night. Can't be sure if Adeniran meant to play himself on with that ball or was trying to spring his teammate. But it's a great recovery and a critical stop here in the 77th.
Obed was right there, and I think there was a little miscommunication between the two of them.
Traore.
Spencer Ritchie's slowing everything down this time.
I think his might be more out of frustration. He's looking for an option. Vegas wins it away. One right back by Leyva. Adeniran is onside there. Obed Vargas settles it. Into space for Adeniran. Booming cross. Serrano. Serrano fires. It's redirected. And it's out for a corner. Defiance will make a change in the offing. Or will they? Will they hold up? As Danny Robles is set to come on for Juan Alvarez. It'll come after this set piece. Anguiano flicked along. Villanueva. Kinsner lets it ride. He stumbles, and it's cleared into touch. The aforementioned change. Robles on for Villanueva here in the 79th.
Alvarez sprinting off. I've never seen somebody have so much energy to leave the pitch.
Particularly notable because, you know, all you have to do is just go off the nearest boundary line, Dave. Just stop off the field.
I said Ray Serrano never stops running, but tonight Juan Alvarez was putting pressure throughout the field, running constantly.
Some really bright moments. But for all that brightness right now, you have to say Defiance are looking at this scoreline and won't feel too good about it if this is where they stand 11 minutes from now. Traore gets it off of Adeniran. Here comes Robles. Sepulveda. Serrano. De Roma. Uche. Obed Vargas controls it finally. Villanueva. His cross. Knocked away by Traore. Anguiano trying to settle it. Floated in. Back out from Traore. Everyone's swinging their leg at that ball. Reagan resets to Ritchie. Given as a throw-in for Tacoma.
The tiniest of touches from Las Vegas.
Robles. Serrano now. Went quickly for Obed Vargas. The clearance is blocked. Rando, all too happy to see that ball squirt back into his hands. Rando certainly taking his 6 seconds. And then some, perhaps. Leyva going through for Adeniran. He's away from Traore. He fires. Missed it by that much, Dave.
He launched it to the launch pad. Sam hasn't had as many touches as he's been used to this season, and I think that might just be the time when he thought, I don't know if I'll get another shot. Tacoma's looked stronger for these past 10. The substitutions have helped them settle the ball and enter the attack much more effectively. But with the kinds of shots that they're getting off.
This falls for El Mesmari. His cross is right at Spencer Richey. Probably mark it as a shot halfway between the two. Defiance looking to go quickly. Into space for Villanueva, defended by Uche. The wing back, pulled down there. It's a free kick just outside the penalty area. Well, Villanueva has been getting worked on all evening. Uche has got some words for the referee.
Surprising anger at that call. He knew exactly what he was doing.
Oh, Uche probably feeling he was giving as good as he was getting in that exchange. And now Tacoma gonna have to make the most of this set piece opportunity. They've asked for their 10 yards. Here's the foul again.
You see here, Alex Villanueva brings the ball under control, tries to burst past, and yeah, there's a arm bar basically pulling Villanueva down.
Good old horse collar tackle. That's 15 yards in the NFL. Leyva goes far post. That one bopped up by Uche.
There was a long debate between Danny Robles, Carlos Anguiano, and Danny Leyva as to who was going to take that free kick. And if Danny Leyva can put a shot on frame like that every time, keep doing it.
This time it'll be Anguiano's turn for the outswinger. Referee wants to talk things over. Brewitt, Reagan, Iloski, Traore getting to know each other just north of the penalty spot. Anguiano swings that in. Rando comes for the punch. Free kick called against Jackson Reagan and Tacoma Defiance.
Rando slowing things down.
Kind of seen that out of all of Las Vegas these last 8 minutes or so, Dave. Starting to think about closing up shop and taking a point home on the road. Weber. Tackled away from him. Leyva. Villanueva. Leyva, lovely back heel there for Robles. Robles lays that ball in and helped along by Traore.
Smart play by Traore.
Obed Vargas. Serrano. Villanueva here. His low cross. Uche once again. Another searching ball. Out as far as Kinsner. The direct stuff not working for Tacoma tonight, but they don't really have much time to try anything else. Serrano forces it in. Adeniran spins, fires, and scores! Sam Adeniran, just like that! Talk about clutch in big moments.
You'll see here, Ray Serrano gets the ball into the right spot. Sam has no space to move, no space to turn, and somehow does both with just immense power on that spinning shot.
I don't even know if he set his plant foot, Dave. He just swung and hacked at that thing, and Tacoma leads 2-1. Under 4 plus stoppage left to go. Free kick given just shy of midfield. It's a 5th goal of the year for Sam Adeniran. And he has made something of a habit of coming up with big goals in late moments for this Tacoma side. And now for Defiance, the job of seeing out these last 4.
I don't think we've seen Sam Adeniran hit a normal goal.
Worldies only, Dave. Worldies only.
Deflected goals, penalties. That wondrous moment.
So for Las Vegas now, Dave, they spent the previous 8 minutes pretty much trying to button things up so they could get out of here with a 1-1. Now it's kitchen sink time.
There's short bodies and energy at this point to try to do that. It's they have to shift their demeanor and find something within themselves that hasn't been there for a while. They're in that rut. And this is USL Championship veteran, MLS veteran Spencer Ritchie, just slowing things down. UW Husky.
No stranger to soccer here in the Pacific Northwest. Sends that away. Adeniran thinking about another crack at goal. And one thing we know about Sam Adeniran shots, unless you really, really have to, you want to get out of the way of them, Dave.
Yeah, he shoots with power only.
I'm reminded of the line from the great sports movie Major League. Sucker was really moving, wasn't it? If it hit you, it'd leave a 3-foot hole on the other side. Anguiano carded for delaying the restart of play. It is still Tacoma's throw-in. A lot of people don't know that. You can be cautioned for delaying the restart of play, but unless you commit a foul throw, it's not actually a turnover.
No one really wanted to throw that one in.
Loose ball here. That one chipped up, cleared off the line by Uche. A magnificent effort from the center back from Queens, New York to save a 3rd goal.
Tacoma brings none of their center backs forward on this corner. Here's Uche's moment. He's going to go down for the save of the week.
That is sensational from CC Uche. That is absolutely tremendous, regardless of the end result of this contest.
Rando's got to buy him the beverage of his choice.
Robles.
Tacoma will be very happy to bounce it around their back line in these 3 minutes of stoppage time that were just shown.
We are into the first of them now. Obed Vargas. Traore hot on his heels. And Obed Vargas finally has that roll off his foot. Pretty impressive work from the youngster, trying to hold off the big center back.
Alex Rando not slowing the game down now. This is just about getting enough bodies forward.
Free Free kick just past midfield. DeRoma initially looked like he wanted to play it quickly. Now they're going to wave up. Oh, it's Rando. Or not. Instead, DeRoma going to hoof it over the top. Reagan wins the header. No surprises there. Robles settles for the throw-in. Villanueva to throw in from the far touchline. Thrown over Adeniran. DeRoma back to his keeper. Rando gone on the ground. Traore blocked there from Ray Serrano. Serrano, Obed Vargas, the return back toward him. Obed Vargas trying to link up with Adeniran. Anguiano run off the ball there. It's a free kick. Randy Mendoza is set to check in. You have to wonder if he'll actually get a chance to. Leyva chops this toward the corner. So it will be Randy Mendoza coming on for Alex Villanueva, who's put in a yeoman's shift at that left back slot tonight.
This time-wasting substitution is also brought to you by a defensive improvement. Randy Mendoza can lock down that flank.
Certainly probably doesn't have the green light to get forward the same way Villanueva did. And it won't matter, he'll never get involved. The whistle goes for full time, and Sam Adeniran, with his 5th goal of the year, is the late hero for Tacoma Defiance, scoring the game winner in the 86th minute. Well, Dave, it's a huge, huge result for Tacoma Defiance, who really kind of looked dead in the water for stretches of that second half, but they battled back. They found a way to force their hand on the equalizer, and just a thunderous strike from Sam Adeniran to put them back on top and take 3 points at home.
At the beginning of the match, I said that Wade Weber needed somebody to step forward and be a consistent goal-scoring threat, and Sam Adeniran might have just turned into that tonight.
Defiance will be thrilled. 8 wins now on the season for them, 5 losses, 6 draws. For the Lights, they absorbed their 14th loss of the season, go to 2-9 away from home. Defiance still unbeaten, and a pretty good clip, all things considered. 21 points here at home.
21 points at home, one of only 3 undefeated USL Championship teams at home, and shoot right back up to 2nd place where they spent a few days a week ago. Now they'll go into the weekend action staring at scoreboards, watching the standings. The Pacific Divisions 2 through 6 spots are wide open.
For Las Vegas Lights, they'll be grateful to have another bite at the apple pretty quickly here back at home against Sacramento at 7 p.m. on Sunday. But Defiance will be back in action sooner than that. They'll play at 1 o'clock, 1:30 on Sunday, forgive me, Pacific time, when they host Phoenix Rising FC, the division leaders here in the Pacific. But for tonight, courtesy of Sam Adeniran and Tom Brewitt, it is all smiles at Cheney Stadium in Tacoma as they celebrate with the supporters a big 3-point Thursday, thanks to a 2-1 win over Las Vegas. That's going to do it for us here on ESPN+. For all of us from Cheney Stadium, including Dave Clark, I'm Andrew Harvey saying so long, thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you next time.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.